The Antichrist and the spirit of the Leviathan. Dear brothers and sisters, every day I stand speechless before the greatness of our Heavenly Father and the intricacy of His Word. I am humbled and grateful to receive some of His precious revelations. There is so much treasure to discover beneath the surface of His words, so many jewels to unravel. I hope and pray that this word will stir your heart to search deeper into Scriptures while you take your time to sit down with Father and learn from Him. This word pertains to the Antichrist and the spirit of the Leviathan. Leviathan is a sea monster and the beast that comes out of the sea. Isaiah 27:1. In that day, Yah, with his sore and great and strong sword, shall punish Leviathan, the piercing serpent, even Leviathan, that crooked serpent, and he shall slay the dragon that is in the sea. Revelation 13:1. And I, referring to John, stood upon the sand of the sea, and saw a beast rise up out of the sea. In Job 41, Leviathan is presented as a fearless, scary, overpowering dragon. What is actually being described in this chapter is the spirit that indwells the Antichrist, which is the same as that of Satan. Revelation 13:2b. The dragon gave him, meaning the beast out of the sea, his power and his seat and great authority. Hence why the Bible refers to the Antichrist as a beast. Let's have a look at Job 41 and see how the description of this dragon fits precisely with the one concerning the Antichrist. Highlighted in bold below is a verse by verse breakdown of Job 41, verses 1 and 2. Canst thou draw out Leviathan with an hook, or his tongue with a cord which thou lettest down? Canst thou put an hook into his nose, or bore his jaw through with a thorn? A good portion of Job 41 is presented in a rhetorical manner, questions with obvious answers. No, the Leviathan cannot be drawn out with a hook by humans, for he is the great sea monster. The reference to putting a hook into the nose or a thorn in the jaw refers to the mark of slavery. Neither of these actions could contain Leviathan. One cannot make it their slave, capture him, nor tame him. The people of the earth who will refuse sound judgment and instead love the lie will be given to their own delusions. 2 Thessalonians 2, verses 11 and 12. They will worship the beast, which they won't even recognize when he stands in front of them. And with all the wicked of the earth will say, who is like the beast? Who can make war against him? Revelation 13:4. Verse 3. Will he make many supplications unto thee? Will he speak soft words unto thee? The Antichrist will not beg for mercy. He will love the God of fortresses and bring people to their knees. At first he will speak gentle words, only to lure the unsuspecting. But once they're caught in his net, Revelation 13:5 and 6 says, And there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies. And he opened his mouth in blasphemy against Yah, to blaspheme his name and his tabernacle, and them that dwell in heaven. Verse 4. Will he make a covenant with thee? Wilt thou take him for a servant forever? He will never be able to make You will never be able to make a covenant with the Antichrist to profit yourself, and you will not be able to make him into a slave. Instead, he will cause people to submit to his authority. Under the beast system, you will not be able to buy or sell without his mark, and you will be forced to worship him under penalty of death. Revelation 13:15. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. Verse 5. Wilt thou play with him as with a bird? Or wilt thou bind him for thy maidens? Of course not, for he is wild, vicious, and utterly dangerous. He can camouflage himself like a leopard, trample on people like a bear, and tear them apart like a lion. Revelation 13:2. On the contrary, the saints will be handed over to him for a period of 3.5 years. Daniel 7:25. And he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws, and they shall be given into his hand until a time and times and the dividing of time. Verse 6. Shall the companions make a banquet of him? Shall they part him among the merchants? His companions, meaning the 10 kings, will receive power for only 1 hour, and their purpose will be to hand over their power to the beast. He will also take the land for himself and divide it amongst his own followers. Revelation 17:12-13. And the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings, which have received no kingdom as yet, but receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast. These have one mind, and shall give their power and strength unto the beast. Daniel 11:39. Thus shall he do in the most strongholds with a strange god, whom he shall acknowledge and increase with glory, and he shall cause them to rule over many, and shall divide the land for gain. Verse 7. Canst thou fill his skin with barbed irons, or his head with fish spears? This beast cannot be overpowered, fooled around with, killed. At one point it will appear that he'll have a fatal wound, from which he will recover. He will use satanic powers to deceive the masses. Revelation 13:3. And I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed, and all the world wondered after the beast. Verses 8-9. Lay thine hand upon him, remember the battle, do no more. Behold, the hope of him is in vain. Shall not one be cast down even at the sight of him? One would not dare lay a hand on him and think he can be overcome. The Antichrist will have a great following, a sharp army. He will be a dictator, a tyrant. Any attempt to subdue, restrain, or annihilate him will fail. It will take Messiah himself to cast him into the lake of fire. Revelation 19:20. And the beast was taken, and with him the false prophet that wrought miracles before him, with which he deceived them that had received the mark of the beast, and them that worshipped his image. These both were cast alive into a lake of fire, burning with brimstone. Verse 10. None is so fierce that dare stir him up. Who then is able to stand before me? He will be a king with fierce countenance, a master of intrigue. Daniel 8:23. No one will be ever so daring or courageous enough to come against him, to confront him or contend with him. Granted, the Bible does say that one of the beast's heads will receive a fatal wound. However, unless you believe that this man will literally have 7 heads, the question becomes, what will be the head that will be wounded? Verses 12 to 13. I will not conceal his parts, nor his power, nor his comely proportion. Who can discover the face of his garment? Or who can come to him with his double bridle? This beast is exceedingly dreadful. It has claws of bronze, iron teeth like a lion, and feet like a bear. No one would be able to strip off his leopard coat, nor domesticate his arrogant mouth. Daniel 7:19. The fourth beast, which was diverse from all the others, exceeding dreadful, whose teeth were of iron, and his nails of brass, which devoured, brake in pieces, and stamped the residue with his feet. Verse 14. Who can open the doors of his face? His teeth are terrible round about. No one will dare speak against him in his face. He will be just as cunning and deceiving as he'll be extremely vicious and dangerous. Daniel 8:24. And his power shall be mighty, but not by his own power, and he shall destroy wonderfully, and shall prosper and practice, and shall destroy the mighty and the holy people. Verses 15 to 17. His scales are his pride, shut up together as with a close seal. One is so near to another that no air can come between them. They are joined one to another, they stick together, that they cannot be sundered. The Antichrist will worship the God of fortresses. His army will be closely knit together, ruthless, heartless, merciless, cold, and calculated. They will move with strategy and precision. He will exalt himself above all that is called God, and will carry the same pride within his heart that caused Satan to fall. Man will worship the ancient serpent through him, because Satan will give him his power. Daniel 8:25. And through his policy also he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand, and he shall magnify himself in his heart, and by peace shall destroy many. He shall also stand up against the Prince of Princes. Daniel 11:31 to 32a. And arms shall stand on his part, and they shall pollute the sanctuary of strength, and shall take away the daily sacrifice, and they shall place the abomination that maketh desolate, and such as do wickedly against the covenant shall he corrupt by flatteries. Verses 18 and 19. By his neesings a light doth shine, and his eyes are like the eyelids of the morning. Out of his mouth go burning lamps, and sparks of fire leap out. His features mimic Satan's, the dragon. He will utter deadly threats and bring about much persecution to the saints. Daniel 8:24. And his power shall be mighty, but not by his own power. And he shall destroy wonderfully, and shall prosper, and practice, and shall destroy the mighty and the holy people. Verses 20 to 21. Out of his nostrils goeth smoke, as out of a seething pot or cauldron. His breath kindleth for coals, and a flame goeth out of his mouth. Verse 20 reminded me of the boiling pot in Jeremiah 1, a pot full of evil that will be poured on the wicked of the earth. The smoke rising from this pot reminds me of the smoke seen from the German concentration camps where the Jews were burned in. The Antichrist will have his own concentration camps, the gulags, death camps, in which he will torture and kill all those who will dare disobey his orders. He will make the Holocaust look like child play in comparison to his level of pure evil. His threats will be so dangerous, he will devour many in his path like a blazing fire. Verse 21 reminded me of the times of Nero, when Christians were set as live torches. Verse 22 In his neck remaineth strength, and sorrow is turned into joy before him. The neck symbolizes leadership. He will have strong leadership skills to command all his 7 heads. His followers, the deceived and the wicked ones, will consider themselves fortunate and be excited to be part of his crew. They will not hesitate to receive the mark of the beast and all the perks that will be advertised to them. They will believe wholeheartedly that the Antichrist will have their best interests at heart. Nothing could be further from the truth. Revelation 13:16-17. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. 23 to 25. The flakes of his flesh are joined together. They are firm in themselves, they cannot be moved. His heart is as firm as a stone, yea, as hard as a piece of the nether millstone. When he raiseth up himself, the mighty are afraid. By reason of breakings they purify themselves. The Antichrist will be tough, merciless, heartless from his father the devil. Nothing good can be found in him. Many people will deny Messiah at this time because of fear for their lives. Matthew 24:12. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. Daniel 11:36. And the king shall do according to his will, and he shall exalt himself and magnify himself above every god, and shall speak marvelous things against Yah, and shall prosper till the indignation be accomplished. For that is determined shall be done. Revelation 20:4. I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yeshua, and for the word of Yah, and which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither had received his mark upon their foreheads or in their hands. Verse 26. The sword of him that layeth at him cannot hold the spear, the dart, nor the habergeon. No sword will be able to take him down. It will take the power of our Messiah to destroy him. I believe this verse hints to his immortal nature, hence why no one will be able to overcome him except for our King, who in his power has already defeated him. 2 Thessalonians 2:8. And then shall that wicked be revealed, whom Yah shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. Psalm 74:13-14. Thou didst divide the sea by thy strength. Thou breakest the heads of the dragons in the waters. Thou breakest the heads of Leviathan in pieces, and gavest him to be meat to the people inhabiting the wilderness. 27-29. He esteemeth iron as straw, and brass as rotten wood. The arrow cannot make him flee. Sling stones are turned with him into stubble. Darts are counted as stubble. He laugheth at the shaking of a spear. Mortal weapons will not affect him, for iron will be as straw to him, and brass as rotten wood. His kingdom will be the iron kingdom that will destroy all other kingdoms. He will not be shaken by arrows, sling stones, darts, nor spears. Daniel 2:40. And the fourth kingdom shall be strong as iron. Forasmuch as iron breaketh in pieces and subdueth all things, and as iron that breaketh all these, shall it break in pieces and bruise. 30. Sharp stones are under him. He spreadeth sharp pointed things upon the mire. The Antichrist will devastate everything in his path. He will come against Father's true servants, persecute them, wear them out, and overcome them. Revelation 13:7. And it was given unto him to make war with the saints, and to overcome them. And power was given him over all kindreds, and tongues, and nations. Verse 31. He maketh the deep to boil like a pot. He maketh the sea like a pot of ointment. The Antichrist is part of Father's judgment on a wicked world. He will allow the Antichrist to turn the world into a large cooking pot, and the people will be the meat in it. He will turn the heat up to burn away all their sin and impurities. Ezekiel 24:6-11. Wherefore, thus saith Yah, Woe to the bloody city, to the pot whose scum is therein, and whose scum is not gone out of it. Bring it out piece by piece, let no lot fall upon it. Then set it empty upon the coals thereof, that the brass of it may be hot, and may burn, and that the filthiness of it may be molten in it, that the scum of it may be consumed. Verse 32. He maketh a path to shine after him. One would think the deep to be hoary. For a time to the deceived he will appear to be like a Savior. He will bring about a world they will admire. It will fill the cravings and desires of their wicked hearts. He will invent the illusion of a perfect world, a utopia, and sell it to them as good, safe, and comfortable. They won't know that when they lower their guards, they will be swallowed up whole, the same way a snake seizes its prey and then strikes in one big bite. Let's not forget how Satan disguises himself as an angel of light. 2 Corinthians 11:14-15. And no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light. Therefore it is no great thing if his ministers also be transformed as the ministers of righteousness, whose end shall be according to their works. Verse 33. Upon earth there is not his like, who is made without fear. There has never been another quite like him, with such power, fearlessness, and demonic authority. The people of the earth will worship him as a god, and enthrone him in their hearts. Verse 34. He beholdeth all high things. He is a king over all the children of pride. We know that the Antichrist is indwelled by Satan's spirit, and will possess his same attitude of pride and his same desire to be like Father. Isaiah 14:13-14. For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of Yah. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation, in the sides of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High.